Hello there and welcome back to Szpakowo. So what do we have to take care of this August? Well, we have our oat field directly ahead of us. I can see that it is ready for harvesting, so that is going to be our main task. But first of all, I've been doing some thinking in between episodes. Dangerous, I know. But what I was thinking is we're going to sell the field that we harvested wheat from eventually, and we're going to buy this field here. So we may as well just sell this field now. We don't need to buy this field yet, but what we could do is buy our silo to store the oats in, and also buy a dairy to start processing the cow milk. Now, if we take a look at our stock levels here, we've got 19,000 litres of cow milk, and I think starting to produce dairy products from that will make us a decent amount of money. So I think that's what we're going to do to start ourselves off this month. Let's go over to, how do you sell the field? It's in here, isn't it, to sell? So let's go over to field 179. We'll sell that for 68,910. And so now we have 84,104. So first off, let's build the dairy. So if we go here, we go to factories, where's the dairy? Here's the dairy, so 36,000, and it's a tiny building. So we could just put that somewhere that's near our cow barn. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable place. So that's our dairy, and let's make this look natural, like it was meant to be there. There we go. And this is our dairy. So in the dairy, we can produce butter from just milk, we can produce cheese from just milk, and we can produce bottled milk from milk. So let's take a look at those recipes. So 10 milk is 20 bottled milk, 3 milk is 2 cheese, and 15 milk is 13 butter, and they're all 48, oh no, they're not all 48 cycles. That's 48, that's 132, and that is 48. So before we start, before we look at the silo then, let's jump in our tractor. And actually something I forgot about completely was we're going to need a tank, aren't we? We're going to need a water tanker to transfer, or a liquid tanker to transfer our milk. Yep, I completely overlooked that. Where are the liquid tankers? Barrels, is it under there? Yeah. So we could get this for 17,000. That's too small. This is 6,050, but that only holds water. That's weird. Why does it only hold water? Surely it should be able to hold milk as well. But no, it doesn't. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so I went and found a mod that can help us with our liquid tanks. I think they're a mirror of the original trailers, but they can handle all liquid types. So I think we're going to go with this for now. Just this Joskin, however you want to call it. So we'll keep it with the standard capacity. Okay, so yeah, we'll buy this. And so now we're going to have to go with a slightly smaller silo, but at least we're going to be able to produce stuff in our dairy. Before we build the silo, let's head over to the store and pick up that trailer, and let's get some milk transferred into the dairy. Okay, so we're back over at our farmhouse with our new, it's not a shiny tanker, it's a matte finish, so I can't really say it's a shiny toy. It's our new toy. And I think this is where you fill up the milk. Yeah, here we go. So let's top up the milk here, and let's go take it over to our dairy. One thing I'll check, you can't put the cow products on distributing, can you? No, of course not. I thought not, but I wanted to check. So let's offload this milk into here then. And then while that's offloading, let's go into our dairy and let's start the productions. So we'll start the butter. I'll put it on distributing. Start the cheese, put it on distributing. And we'll start the milk and put it on distributing. Next up is to build a silo. So what I'm thinking for the silo is, now because we had to buy the tanker, we don't have enough money for the silo that I was originally considering. So the silo I wanted is something that will future-proof us. So I was looking at this at 42,000. We could go with this one. It's only 7,000 litres less, but I feel like this will future-proof us much more than the other one. So we need to get our hands on approximately 4,000 euros. We have a mowing contract, 5981. This would be ideal. I think we're going to do this. We'll mow this field. We'll get the contract income. Oh, we have a couple of contracts here that we can collect. I forgot about these. So some old liming contracts. It still doesn't quite give us enough. So we'll go take care of this mowing contract. And then we'll have enough money to build our silo. And then after that, we can harvest our oat field. So I will get this done. And I will come back to you shortly. See you soon. Okay, so that is the grass mowed for this contract. Let's jump into the menus and collect the contract. So we'll collect that. And then we have 46,000 now, so that is 42,000 for the silo that we wanted. And 4,000 just spare to deal with tractor maintenance, fuel, and such expenses as they come up. So we'll get back to the farm. We will place our silo, and then we will take care of our oat field. Okay, so we're back over at the farm. Let's take a look at where we're going to place our silo. So we want this whole area clear for driving between the cow barn and the dairy, and for driving out of the cow barn and circling around to pick up the TMR to drive back into the cow barn. So this whole area really is off limits. We could place it over here. That wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? What colour should we have our silo? I don't think Bockman Blue works quite as well for build. Oh, it's only the bottom of the silo. It's not all of it. I should change my name to Mr. Bockman Blue. Let's see, we'll stick with a... Is it the bottom? I don't even know which part it is. Yeah, we'll place that just there like that. I think that looks pretty good. So, next up is to go and harvest our oats. So let's grab our small trailer. We'll take it over to the oat field, then we'll jump in our harvester and take care of the oats. I don't know how much oats we're going to get off of this field. We'll do a quick visual on it before we take the harvester to it. This is expected yield 86%. Well, that's okay. we didn't end up fertilizing it because of the issues we had with precision farming. I think I cut it out of the edit of the video, but in the month where we discovered precision farming worked, I fertilized the field before precision farming was activated on it. And what that meant was that once precision farming started working, I wasn't then able to fertilize the field again. And that was the second month of oat growth, which meant that the next month would have meant destroying the crops to do the fertilizing. So I decided not to. We'll make sure we get the field fertilized before the next chop. But for now, let's carry on harvesting our oats. Let's see what kind of yield we're getting. And we're getting all of this straw as well. Something I was thinking about this actually, should we take the straw off the field, or should we just spread the straw and then maybe look for a cheap mulcher to mulch it in for the next chop? Because we don't need all of this straw, do we? So what are we looking at for a decent mulcher? We're looking at 13,000 for 7.5 meters. Yeah, so it'd be 14,500 to have it set up as a mulcher. I think that's what we might do, because the straw from this field will probably get, I don't know how many bales we would get, maybe 10. No, we got 10 off the smaller field, so maybe you would get 15 to 20 bales. And if we look at the price we could sell the bales for, so it's 86. So if we had 100,000 litres, that would be 8,600. Whereas if we were able to improve the yield and get 5% more yield, how much would that be? Depends what crop we had in there, but I think we would be able to use the extra yield more. Let's experiment and not do the straw. So we'll disable the straw swath and we'll just mulch it into the field this time. And if it doesn't work out, then we know not to do it again. Anyways, I'll continue with this and I will come back to you once we are complete. I'll see you soon. Okay, so we are almost done harvesting the oats, and I'm looking at the average yield of the oats. So it's 4.8 tons per hectare. I'm pretty sure the sorghum yields anywhere between 12 and 16 tons, somewhere like that anyway. So this is the third harvester load of oats for this field at 83% yield, an average of 83% yield. If we had sorghum in this field, we would get about 45,000 litres if my calculations are correct. I'm not sure that they are. What we'll do for next season is we'll make sure that this field is in premium condition. We'll mulch all this stubble into it. We'll make sure that it's fertilised, limed and ready to go in its premium state. We'll plant sorghum and we'll see how much we get. That is the plan for next season for this field. I'm going to put whatever's in the harvester into the horse stable, ready for the horses when they arrive. Let me just turn on the trigger so I can see exactly where to dump stuff. In there. Is that right? Yeah. So we'll let that go in there, and this will actually give us a good idea of how much oats to put into the horse stables, because with the animals that require more than one food type, you don't know how much the total storage is. You have to kind of work it out based on the percentages. I'll show you what I mean in a second. It doesn't tell you what the total capacity is in numbers. So 800 litres is there, 8,000 litres. So let's get our trailer and we'll set the tip side to the back, and we'll just reverse ourselves into here. Now I'm going to tip about 7,000 litres in initially, and we'll see how much that fills up the capacity. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that. So 7,000 litres isn't quite 57%. So let's continue. Let's put some more in there. It's almost halfway. So I think maybe the total capacity is 20,000 litres. So 57% of that. So let's say 60% needs to be oats. So 60% of 20,000 is 12,000. So we need to put another 3,000 in there. Yeah, I think that's about right. About 60%. So the rest of these oats we can put in the grain mill. We didn't need to buy the silo after all, did we? We could have gone without it because, yeah, I don't think the horses are going to use up that much oats in between when we get them at the end of the year and when we harvest sorghum next year. Anyways, doesn't matter now. We will need the silo at some point in the future. Plus, every farm should have a silo. So it just should. Don't ask my reasoning behind that. I don't know it. Okay, we'll activate the oat flour production, and then that can also be producing flour. Our long grain rice is running low, but that's coming next month, so that's absolutely fine. And our wheat is doing just fine as well. Just a quick check of our bakeries. Yeah, that's still saying 0, but that's because it's getting fed flour in trickles. Maybe we should turn this off for a month or so, and then next month we'll switch it on once a little bit of surplus is built up. Maybe that will save us some money. Okay, so we're just approaching the vehicle store, and I was thinking also in between episodes that the next field we buy, the one next to the one we just harvested oats from, it's probably going to be our last field purchase while we have this equipment. We will need to upgrade our equipment, I think, before we consider any more fields, because once we start harvesting crops from multiple fields, you really need multiple tractors to drive around between the fields and just generally do other tasks. So yeah, I feel like 4 fields with 1 tractor is really the limit. So yeah, that's something we have to consider, is upgrading our tractor and our other equipment to suit our expanding operation. So I think what we'll do is just jump through to August. We'll see how our dairy production has gone when given a whole month, and then we'll jump in our harvester and harvest our rice. So let's get this parked up and we'll get the header connected. We'll just park this ready to start our next harvest next month. We'll switch it off and I'll see you in September. Okay, so it's September and that means that our rice is going to be ready to harvest. Just quickly want to take a look at a couple of things. So first of all, see if any good contracts have come up. Nothing for harvesting, nothing for anything else right now. Let's take a look at our cows. Their slurry is filling up, their milk is starting to fill up, and they've got plenty of TMR left. Production wise, our dairy is what I wanted to mainly check. So we've only gone through 500 litres or so in the month. And what have we produced? Really not much, is there? Butter is 1 litre for the whole month. That doesn't really make sense. Cheese is 86 litres and milk is 2 litres. Something doesn't seem right about that. I'm going to have to monitor it. Anyways, let's jump in our harvester. Let's get the rice harvesting taken care of. I'm interested to see actually how much rice we get, because this is the first time we've harvested this new field since we've created it. So I'm interested to see how much rice it yields. So yeah, I'll get this done and I'll rejoin you once we're complete. See you soon. Okay, so that is our rice almost harvested, and as expected we got less yield off of this field because it's slightly smaller, because we stripped off the bit at the end to create the pathway through to the other part of our farm. But also I noticed as I'm going over the field, the colours are going down a level. So if you consider dark green to be 125 and then looking at the colour scale going down, as I was going over the field I noticed that the colours were going down a level in most places, and that's probably because of the lime not being at its premium level. So keeping the lime topped up to where it should be is definitely beneficial for the yield. How much it matters, I don't know, like maybe 5% per season. And while that's emptying, if we jump out and take a look here for pH, I mean, pH still says it's pretty good, so say it's okay there. So yeah, we'll get this field topped up, and we'll also get it mulched with the mulcher when we get it. I think that's going to be our next target in terms of equipment. It's only 13,000, so we should be able to achieve it with contracts between now and when we need to plant our fields. Let's get this header put back on its trailer, and we'll see what else we have to do for September. Switch off the engine, and that engine's switched off, so let's take a look to see if any contracts have come in since we've been doing those fields. We've got spinach, potatoes, carrots, spinach, potatoes. Nope, nothing there that we can take care of, unfortunately. Okay, let's get this rice emptied. Now, we've got 13,561, so about 2,500 less than we usually get because of the smaller field and the lack of proper preparation. So let's take a look at our productions. Now in the grain mill we are out of flour, so we need about 14,000 in there to sustain it for a year. However, what I'm thinking is that our bakeries are starting to fill up with flour. So we have 5,400 litres in there. I wonder if that will last the year. If we look at this, it's 48 cycles per month and it's 6.8 per cycle. I think we have enough rice in here to last us for a year. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's check the price of long grain rice. Do we have it there? No, because it's in our trailer. It's 1,015. So if we sell the long grain rice directly over at the grain mill, that will get us enough money, I think, to buy the mulcher, and then we can mulch our fields, lime them, and get them prepared for planting the seeds next year. I think that's a good idea. I'll see you over at the grain mill. Okay, so here we are at the grain mill with our rice. Let's get over to the drop-off point and we'll get this all ditched in there. Okay, so that is the rice dropped off at the grain mill, and we got a nice 14,500 or so there. So we do have enough now to buy that mulcher, and I think that's what we'll busy ourselves with for the rest of the morning. And then maybe by the time we're done preparing our own fields for next season, there might be another contract that's worth doing to build our money back up. Okay, so we'll just leave the trailer there for now. I feel like we're going to have to get a bigger shed very soon, and one that doesn't have such a low angle on it. We'll definitely get something that is more square. I think I'll probably end up replacing that shed. I did download a couple of extra mods, so once we get some money in, we'll take a look at what we can do with regards to that. Okay, so this is our mulcher. Let's go and take care of our rice field first. Now, I don't think it matters in terms of the actual yield, but what I might do is spread lime on this field first. I think that makes sense. So we'll lime the field and then we'll take care of the mulching after. So let's go pick up our spreader and we'll take care of that quickly. Anyways, I'll continue with the liming, mulching, and I'll get both fields done, this field and the oat field, and I'll rejoin you once we're complete. Okay, so I've limed and mulched the rice field, and I've limed the oat field, or the field that had oats in it. I started mulching it, and you can see that it mulched itself okay until just over there, and then it stopped, and I don't know why. So let's just check the map. I'm wondering if it's a visual thing or whether the mulching actually stopped working. Yeah, look, you can see here it mulched just fine until there, and the rest is still showing as oats. Although if looking at this, it's looking like the mulch state is taking across the whole field, because I went all the way around the headland, so maybe it's just a visual thing. I am not sure. Anyways, I guess we shall continue and see what happens. Okay, so that is the entire field mulched, and at least I think it is. If we look at the field data here, you can see most of it's been mulched. There's a line along here that doesn't seem to be, so let's just drop the mulcher and go across this section here. See if that makes a difference. Yeah, just along there, showing us not mulched. If we look at the map, it's not turning into mulched field, so maybe that was where we were turning with the harvester and no crop stubble was dropped on the floor. I'm not sure. Anyway, something I was thinking while I was going over that field is that if we're planting sorghum next year, that means we're going to have to use our planter, which is only a 3-meter working width, and that's a big field. So that is something that I'm not looking forward to too much, and yeah, I'm not really quite sure what to do about that, because although we don't need the silo for this year and we could sell it, make use of our 30-day money back guarantee, we are going to need it next year for the sorghum. How much is the next planter up from what we have? It's here, so the next one is 49,500, and it's not much wider. However, it is much faster. You know, I think I might take advantage of that 30-day money back guarantee, given that we're not using our silo yet, and we're not going to be using it for at least another year. Yeah, I think we will do that. We will sell this. So we paid 42,000, so it's 20,926, so we'll refund ourselves 21,000, and then that was the original buy price recuperated. So we'll sell that and then refund ourselves 21,000. There you go, like that. We don't have enough money to buy the planter this month, although if we are going to buy the planter, we can sell our old planter, can't we? Where is it? It's in here. So if we sell that before it deteriorates anymore, that might give us enough money to buy the new one. Let's drag it out of its parking spot in here. We'll drop off the goods that were in it, and let's take a look to see if we can sell that. Yeah, we can sell that for 8,000. So that will give us enough money to buy the new planter, which is this one. So we'll pick this up, and now we have a new planter. So let's go over to the store and pick that up, and we're going to need to get some new seeds as well, which we don't really have too much money for at the moment. Maybe we'll have enough for 1 pallet of seeds. I actually don't remember how much they cost. And then we're definitely going to need to do a contract or two to build up our bank balance. You know, I've just realized something with the dairy. We have everything set to distributing. So the cheese, the butter, and the goat milk. Well, if we look at the bakery, it requires butter and milk for producing cake. So that's where the production has been going to, and I did not realize. So I have switched off the, I think I've switched it off. No, I haven't just yet. So let's switch this to storing. We can leave the cheese, and we may as well just put it to storing as well. And where is this? We'll put this back to storing. What I'm going to do is remove the butter from both the bakeries. I'm going to move the butter and bottled milk from both of the bakeries and add it to the dairy output. So bottled milk we have 189 plus 189, so 380, 378 plus 7, so 385 of bottled milk. So I'm going to go into the special developer tools I have, go to our productions, current trigger, fill level, output, bottled milk first. So we'll set that to 385. Butter, that is the other one. So we have 5 litres in the dairy. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, so 251. 251 for butter. Okay, and then let's just make sure that looks right. Yes, that looks right now. And then if we go over to both of the bakeries and set those to 0 for the butter and the milk inputs. So current trigger, fill level, inputs, milk bottled, empty, butter empty. And let's check that one. So there you go, butter and milk is empty on that. Let's go into the other bakery and do the same. Milk bottled, empty there, and butter empty there. So if we look at both the bakeries now, they don't have any bottled milk or butter. So I'm happy that it was a user error rather than an issue with the dairy. With that said, I think this is a great place to leave this episode. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying following along. If you are, please do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.